There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Andrew, how was the trip back from Pittsburgh?
The flight itself, pretty, basically just a standard flight. I flew back.
How was the Sunday on your own in Pittsburgh?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I took Pitt Girl's suggestions, and I walked from my hotel down to Oakland. Don't necessarily know if that was the correct move.
I was not suggesting that you walk to Oakland.
I pulled it up. I was like, it's only a couple miles. It's not that far. But yeah. I walk my dog that distance like almost every day. So like the distance wasn't that much of an issue, but I saw some sights while I was walking down there.
Yeah, parts of Uptown are a little
Yeah. But like I felt fine. But I made it to Oakland. I got to see the Cathedral of Learning, which was really cool. Never seen it in person before. Like I've seen pictures. Got inside. Did not get to go to see any of the nationality rooms because those are closed on weekends unless you do a paid tour, and I didn't really feel like paying for that. But then I walked over to the Carnegie Museums of Art and Natural History and spent a good 3, 4, maybe 5 hours in there. Like I spent a long time, and pretty sure I saw everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was an art gallery I missed somewhere. And yeah, then like that was still in the Oakland area, so I kind of stuck around Oakland for a bit, went to Dave and Andy's, got some ice cream. They had some awesome like rivalry week flavors, but most of them were sold out. Like they had H2P, which is tasted kind of like a lemon sorbet, which was good. I had a taste of it. I didn't want a full scoop. Then they had I think they had like Country Roads or something like that, or maybe like Fuck WVU or something. I don't remember. I don't remember all the flavors, but those ones were sold out. But yeah, I had a little bit of ice cream, took an Uber back to my car or back to my hotel. Kind of hung out in my hotel for a little bit until it started to get close to dinner time. Went and got some pizza, then went to the Duquesne Incline for sunset, which was awesome. Yeah, just seeing it at sunset, hanging out there. Walked across the street, had a couple more icy lights to fulfill my Pittsburgh experience. Then went back to the incline and took a photo after dark. So I got Pittsburgh under the lights, which is also cool. Ooh. And yeah, then just kind of hung out.
Hell yeah.
Monday, I went to Primanti Bros for one last sandwich.
What did you get?
That time, so the first time I went was on Friday, and I got the traditional pastrami and cheese.
Okay. That was my choice when I went.
I was like, this is what you're famous for. I've never been here before. Let's go with that. Second time I went with the kielbasa and cheese, which I like that one better because my pastrami was kind of dry and just like the fattiness of the kielbasa helped out a lot.
Yeah, the pastrami one that I had, it was good. And, hot pastrami was great, but I had to like put a lot of hot sauce on it.
Yeah, I drowned it in hot sauce.
Yeah, I had to do that, but it was good. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed the experience, and we definitely glad having you with us. I know you were busy. What was your final lantern fly count? Do you know how many you stomped on?
Well, I'm not counting the ones that I might have unconsciously stopped on.
Okay,
Because
like
they're also
intentional step
yeah,
on.
like they're pretty nimble. Like if you don't
They
get them
are
on the
quick.
first step, they'll bounce out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd probably put my number around a dozen.
Okay.
Nice. Very good.
I got a lot on when I walked from the hotel that we were at to PNC Park and then back.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a ton. I got a bunch on the Clemente Bridge, on the way there. Like along the river front itself, there was a ton. And again, trying to explain to my 7-year-old kid, like, hey, we need to be doing this.
Mhm.
He's like, why are you doing this? And then he finally got in. I think he maybe did like 2 or 3. But like I think I probably I breached 20, I would say.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
That's right. I didn't see that many, and it's interesting because they were all over the place where I live like 2 summers ago, and they've migrated westward. So I saw my very first one of the entire season when I was in Gettysburg on Wednesday last week, and I stomped it. And then I got one in my friend's backyard while I was not wearing shoes.
Oh, that's dedication.
On Friday.
Barefoot.
I got to do my part as a Pennsylvanian.
It's true.
It's very important. They're going to kill all the apple trees and the hops and stuff, and we like those.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a lot of walking when I was there. I think I averaged like 5 or 6 miles a day.
Yeah, I hit 22 or like 23,000 steps on Friday. And that was the day I flew in. And it was just like, I'm so exhausted. So many steps. My calf muscles have finally stopped hurting from the Pittsburgh trip. It's just, when you would just take a step, it was just like an automatic soreness in the calves, and it finally went away.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, the Stairmaster.
With hills.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sickos Committee podcast. As those of you who are regular listeners may know, I am not Jordan. Jordan is sadly on the disabled list tonight, as is usual podcast regular Beth, but we have special guests in their place. I am immensely pleased to inform you that in addition to myself and Commish and Arthur, we have special guests Andy, Corn Correspondent, and Katie, Pop-Tart Correspondent. Andy, how are you?
I don't know why I just did a pose. Nobody can see me do anything except for you guys, but I did do a pose like right when you said my name.
Was that like you holding up corn?
I don't even know. Like I just kind of like it was kind of like a double flex, but like you couldn't even really see my arms from the like. Yeah, I posed for you guys, and listeners pretend that I'm very muscly and did a double flex. Mm-hmm. To answer your question, I'm doing great. I got my dog back from my parents earlier today. He's happy to be home, but he's mad at me that I abandoned him.
Aww.
So,
Okay.
Katie, how are you?
I'm great, guys. I am currently in Dallas, and I actually thought about texting Jordan earlier because I was like, I never get to hang with Jordan when I'm here, and I'm here an extra day longer than I thought I would be. And then I remembered he's on the injured list, and I was like, oh, bummer. Can't hang. So, but anyways, yes, I'm great.
Wonderful. Commish?
Oh, great. It's Tuesday. I knew I was going to be exhausted after this trip, so I had a few days off of work. So I've been able to recoup, thankfully, and I'm doing good, getting the house in order, doing like so many house chores that have been put off because it's been over 100, and I will just not do anything outdoors until it's slowly starting to cool down. And the only reason it's cooling down is because the sun is setting earlier. If the sun was not setting earlier, it would still be 100 at 8:30 p.m. Central. But, since now the sun is setting at 7:30 and last light's around 8 p.m., it's having no choice but to cool down sooner.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, as long as the Earth keeps rotating, eventually it'll get cool. It probably won't, get cool, but as long as that sunlight and the sunrise like changes, it's good. It's going to be in the high 90s think through next week, and then I think I looked on the 26th. It's going to be like 90, and I'm like, please just break. Give me that one cool breeze that signifies whatever fall we get here in San Antonio is coming.
You get one orange leaf before they
It's-
all turn brown and fall off the tree.
No, we have evergreen trees here, man. These things never turn. They stay green forever. There's one tree across the street from me that will do that and lose all the leaves. But the rest of the trees that we have here, they're green all year round. That's it.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
It is.
But you love green.
I do love
Sure.
green though. So I mean, it's a bummer you don't get like the fall leaf change, but
Sure.
I love green though.
Okay.
Well, if they move
Well.
the brawl back to November,
Oh,
you can get autumn there.
oh,
I don't know.
Well.
Do you have leaves in November?
No,
they're
by
probably
then
already gone by
it's gray and shitty and stick season. October is when it's really nice up here and you get all the nice leaves. Anyway, we should probably get into the show. We have things we should talk about.
There's
But
things.
before we get into the preview for this week, Katie, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Let's therapize.
If you don't know, if you haven't listened to the show, Katie is a Florida State fan. She is one of the few reasonable Florida State fans in the world.
I try to be.
That is accurate.
She was on the podcast, Ryan Nanny's podcast. We are all not like this. The Florida State one that just came out. Listen to it. She was there, and she did
That
great
came out
on
before the Memphis game, by the way.
That did come out.
did.
It came out before the Memphis game, but now we got her exclusively after the Memphis game, and let's do a little Katie therapy and talking about the Knowles. Hey, Katie,
I didn't think
We're
that my
listening.
Knowles. I really didn't think after last season that I could get like broken a little bit more. But this is just not great. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of words for it. And I feel like everyone's like, so are you guys gonna fire Mike Norvell? And I'm like, yeah, no, because we owe him $65 million and that credit card is maxed out, baby.
what was the conversion in dong that I did just a little while ago? Let me see.
It was a big number.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of dong. Hold on.
I'm sure it is.
Side note, thank you to the listener who informed us that in iOS 19, the calculator app will do currency conversions for you.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's amazing.
Oh, that's handy.
That's
Yeah,
going to change our
that's
lives.
Super handy. I
Yeah,
agree.
it was. Let's see here. So 65 million, according to the iOS screenshot, is 1,582,750,000,000 Vietnamese dong as the buyout.
That's a lot of dong.
That's
It's a lot of dong.
I mean, it's almost Jimbo levels.
Jimbo levels of dong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
At least it's not guaranteed dong. Does that
It is
help?
not guaranteed. Is it guaranteed dong?
It is. I mean, I think that's why we owe him $65 million,
Oh my
right?
God.
Because that's the buyout, baby.
Well, that's the buyout. Yeah, I don't know what his full contract is, but
It's over the next 6 or 7 years, and it's almost $10 million a year. I mean, it's close to Jimbo's, honestly. His old one. It's not as long. His was $9.5 million over 10 years. This one is through I looked it up the other day. I know it's $65 million total is what we owe him, anyways. I have a lot of people asking that, and I'm like, we can't afford that. It's really hard to go from last season being undefeated, having a great season, having what happened at the end of last season, and then this. I can't think of anything that would break me more.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's got to be some sort of angst towards North Alabama.
Yeah.
Like the FCS team that
And I'm
not going to blame them for the injury of Jordan Travis, but that's kind of where everything.
I'm going to be
That's
really.
when the wheels fell off.
The wheels started
to. I'm going to be really honest.
The second
right
string
now.
quarterback getting hurt after that, and then having to go.
Do you remember which game that was?
That was the.
And
Was
which
it the
play
Florida
it was? Uh-huh. And do you remember what happened on that play?
No, I don't.
There was a targeting penalty.
on the
Oh,
second string.
no.
It was a targeting or an unsportsmanlike something. I'm pretty sure it was targeting, and they took not Brock. I'm sorry, Tate Rodemaker out. I gotta remember this. I'm pretty sure it was targeting. I know there was a penalty. I'm pretty sure it was targeting. I get really angry about that. Like really, really angry, because then he was out for the next game as well, against Louisville in the ACC championship game. Anyways, that one really fires me up, because it's Florida and they play dirty. Yeah. Sorry, but they do. Anyways, I'm with you, Commish. It's North Al, and more than that, Florida, because they just, yeah. It was intentional.
The thing that was upsetting as an external observer who is invested in the ACC, outside of all of this, was the fact that you guys still won the ACC championship.
Yep. Figured out a way to win.
The game was ugly, but you won the game.
Yep.
16-6.
I'm trying to think of when was what's the fastest someone's been fired not for off the field reasons after winning a conference championship? What's the fastest someone's been fired if you talk about winning 13 games? I mean, there's very few coaches that have won 13 games just due to scheduling, but
Gene Chiswick, come on down.
I mean,
that's a good guess.
Coach O was up there.
Yeah, Coach O was up there. He got fired pretty quick after that national championship. I looked it up.
But I don't think he started 0-3.
They also gave Coach O a full year in between, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes. They made it through
2 seasons
with him. Yeah. Well, the COVID year was a mess because, I mean.
I guess, we can't count the COVID year.
I was thinking the best season I've seen someone have on the field and then get fired is I was thinking Boston College, right? When they fired their head coach for interviewing for an NFL job.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's a choice.
Have not been anywhere near those heights. Jeff Jagosinski.
That's right.
They have not been anywhere near those heights since, but they lost in the ACC championship game. So not quite the same.
Yeah. I can't remember a team ever doing what we did and basically going undefeated. I mean, obviously the bowl game, it is what it is, but even just one loss. I mean, going from that to starting the season 0-3. Yeah. I'm going to be really honest. I don't think we can beat Cal. I don't know why they're favored by 2.5 points. I don't know about SMU.
SMU is also bad.
Yeah. Here's what's weird. The Georgia Tech game is the best our offense has looked. We have regressed tremendously on offense, and our defense has gotten a little better, a tiny bit better. So I don't know what to make of any, I don't know. I would encourage you not to bet on Florida State football. But yeah, it's so weird. I literally cannot think of a team doing this, going from an undefeated regular season to 0-3, possibly 0-4.
No,
who knows?
Yeah, no, because even the Auburn team that I was referencing when I talked about Gene Chiswick, they went 3-9 in 2012, following the 2010 national championship. The 2011 team was
too late. 2 years later, yeah,
it was 2 years. Yeah,
they almost lost to ULM that year in OT.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And there's our quota of ULM content for the week.
No, we got more coming, baby. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. We can promise you that.
ULM mentioned, baby.
There.
All right. Well, we have another topic of interest for Katie specifically, but also for all of us, which is that there is a new Pop Tarts ad out. Thank you, Andy, for identifying this and bringing it to our attention. And it looks like Strawberry has a whole bunch of siblings.
Whole bunch of siblings.
Like a whole busload of siblings.
Yeah.
Like we got what appears to be a s'mores Pop-Tart and a cherry Pop-Tart.
I see a wild berry back there. That's my favorite.
There's a wild berry back there. There's one of those hot fudge sundae ones back there. We got a lot of Pop-Tarts.
Listeners, the context is a girl is eating a Pop-Tart, getting ready to board a school bus. And she gets on the school bus, and the bus is driven by a Pop-Tart, and everybody else on the bus is also a Pop-Tart. And the girl has a concerned look on her face, like she shouldn't be eating the Pop-Tart. But as we know from the bowl game, he lives to be eaten. Mm-hmm. So they're probably happy to see that.
Their whole purpose in life is to be toasted and eaten.
Mhm.
I have not watched the commercial yet. I need to. Did you guys? You probably sent it in the. I've been traveling for work, so I have not paid attention to anything. I need to watch this, but the picture looks amazing. I need to share something else important that I discovered this week, and I will send this actually right now in the chat. There is a candle company called Goose Creek Candle, I believe, that I just discovered has Pop-Tart candles, and you know your
Ooh.
girl has already
Ooh.
ordered 2.
Ooh.
Strawberry?
No, because I was like, that probably could smell really sweet. This may not go over well. I think I got the brown sugar cinnamon.
Oh, that's probably a really
That's
good
gonna be a
candle.
great
Yeah,
candle.
that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt good about that. I feel like that's going to smell like fall. Anyways, I will report back. And maybe we can get a sponsorship with Goose Creek. Who knows?
Sponsor us, Goose Creek. We love scented candles.
I hope
We
I'm
do
saying.
love
Oh, yeah, it is
scented
Goose
candles.
Creek. Yeah,
Sorry.
it is Goose Creek.
Screw you, Yankee Candle, unless you want to sponsor us too.
Also,
Like
I want to go back to this for a minute. I feel like maybe Pop-Tarts is laying groundwork for our mascot for the bowl
Mhm.
this year, which
Mhm.
I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
this is going to be a Pop-Tart commercial universe.
So this
Yes,
is like
there's
Pop-Tarts
Fansville.
Fanville? Okay.
Yes, I
Fansville
love
of
it.
Pop-Tarts.
Fully
The
on board.
Pop-Tart
I love
cinematic
it.
universe.
On board.
I'm so
Done.
I just
Pop-Tart sponsor us.
very, very curious about which flavor of Pop-Tart we will see this year.
Me too. Me too.
Do you think they do strawberry again because there was 2 in the pack?
Mm.
I want
I'm thinking
the
brown sugar cinnamon.
I want the villain aspect. I want the evil twin of strawberry
It's like a
Mhm.
toaster strudel.
with like a frosted goatee.
We want
what
like
I
a
want.
little bit of spice, a little drama.
Yes.
I agree.
Give me some.
I agree.
What if
And
they
some
came out
too.
with a savory Pop Tart?
You mean like the
That's
breakfast
just
toaster
samosa.
strudels? Like Jimmy Dean makes something like that.
Do they?
They do. And then I think there's a toaster strudel that has like egg and bacon in it too. It's weird. But the Jimmy Dean thing, I think they're like toaster pop-ups or whatever they call them.
I mean, also like Australia and New Zealand have this like nailed all the way down. If you, or even the UK, like if you follow Football Scran, like it's so many meat pies. They're basically meat Pop-Tarts.
Imagine an English breakfast Pop Tart.
No.
Now I have to think about that. Why'd you do that?
With the beans,
The
coming out
mushroom
like
and
that?
the blood pudding would give me pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I want
And-
that.
And the beans.
Yeah,
and
the
like,
beans coming out.
tomato.
The beans would be weird, but I want those in there.
I'm trying
It's
to
kind of
think
like a
of like
burrito.
Why is it giving Taco Bell?
English
Yeah,
breakfast
it is,
burrito.
actually, yeah. I'm trying to think of what savory Pop-Tart I'd be interested in. Like what savory combination. I'm gonna think on that for a little while. Something with cheese, maybe.
I was just thinking about like apple and like apple and really, really hard cheddar.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could do sausage and cheese, honestly, with
Cannibals.
no like egg or anything. Yeah.
Totally.
We've returned to the primordial swamp from which we emerged.
Cannibals. That is correct.
Reset the counter.
We have some news that just like essentially happened over a few days ago. There was a game between Clark Atlanta football and Florida Memorial University. It is called the Sunshine Showdown. The game was suspended at halftime due to inclement weather. They decided that the game tied at halftime, 28-28, is going to be official, and they're just going to declare it a tie. They're not going to try to replay it. So this essentially is our first tie since 1995.
Woo!
So instead of replaying the game, we have our first tie since 1995. This is, this kind of feels a little hollow. This is kind of like the no-hitter that's a combined no-hitter. It's not like one person. There's like 3 guys that combine for a no-hitter.
Yeah, it's a tie with an asterisk.
It's a tie with an asterisk. It doesn't feel as good, but I think we'll take it.
I will certainly take it, as it is so it was the 1995 season that ties stopped happening?
Yeah, I think the last one was a 3-3 game between Wisconsin and Illinois.
That's sickos as hell.
That is sickos
it
as
was
hell.
Big
I feel
Ten
like we've
West
covered
forever.
this before. That sounds right.
So if that tie was during the 1995 season, I was alive. but I obviously do not recall it. This is the first college tie that I will have in my memory existing as a thing that occurred while I was a conscious human being, and I appreciate that.
There's a full video of the last tie in the history, and there's a really nice article on ESPN on it from 2016.
Oh, I will
I
have to look that up.
want to point out a little bit of copyright infringement here, maybe. That's probably not the right word
Okay.
or term. The Sunshine Showdown, the Florida State rivalry is actually called the Sunshine Showdown, which is kind of dumb. But yeah, they're trying to take that. I don't like it.
Oh, you
I
think they
Googled
had
it
it
just
first?
to make sure that I had the right term for Florida State. Because, like, I don't feel like anyone actually calls it that, but it's on Wikipedia. It's actually called the Sunshine Showdown.
Sure. Whatever Wikipedia says.
Whatever Wikipedia says is right?
Yeah, it counts.
That reminds me that I should go edit the Wikipedia article for Pitt Penn State to call it the Keystone State Catfight instead of whatever it is that the like sponsored brand name for it is.
So just change it to the Sickos Reunion while you're at it.
Totally. We go ahead and go with that. So,
I do not endorse vandalizing Wikipedia, kids.
no, don't do that.
I do.
All right. We're coming up on week 4 here. This season is moving. It is moving.
We are almost a third of the way through the season.
Yeah. We are. Some people wish their season would be over already.
Sorry,
folks,
Katie.
Sorry,
For
Katie.
sure. Actually, you know what? I will say, broadening your like fandom beyond just your team does help a little bit with this. I will say, yeah.
And that's what we're here for, honestly.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
We don't want to, again, it sucks when your team loses. Like, don't get me wrong. When your team loses a game, it sucks. But we try to bring you some joy in other areas, and you can follow other teams, join, follow another G5 team, follow an FCS team, follow a conference, or follow something.
Pick a PSAC team. We got so many.
Pick something and
pick
just,
a Pac-6 team.
Sure, do that. It's just,
we haven't. Have we talked about that?
We didn't talk about it last episode, so I mean, we could talk about the 6-pack, which they want to call it.
I mean, I don't know how much there is to say about it. Like, what people were kind of surprised when this came out, but I feel like this was kind of what at least I was expecting. I mean, ever since the Pac-2 had made the moves that they made, it was pretty clear that they weren't interested in going with all of the Mountain West. So you could see that then they were probably just going to go with some subsets. So I guess the specific teams they picked were newsworthy, but outside of that, I mean, some people were surprised. I was not.
No.
I mean, Oregon State, Washington State, Boise State, Colorado State. Then they have San Diego State and Fresno State is going to be the Pac-6. They need to get 2 more to get to 8.
And I think they need to end in state so then they can be the all-state conference and be in good hands.
Which is weird because there are rumors about Memphis and Tulane, which Memphis could just add the state back because they used to be Memphis State, but Tulane State, I don't know about that.
Tulane's
pick
private.
Up Florida State. Just pick up Florida State. It's fine.
That's true. They want Florida State. Wants to leave their conference, go over to the Pac-12.
I would be great with that. I would love it.
Love the trip from Tallahassee to Pullman.
Yeah.
We're going to let Florida State out of the grant of rights so they can join the Pac-12, but we're not going to let Cal and Stanford go back.
Nope. Well, no, Florida State, they're doing this to duck Cal.
Cal is too ACC to leave.
Honestly, yes. It is kind of weird how good of a culture fit they are.
Cal has been spiritually ACC the entire time, and we didn't realize it until this year.
I don't want to derail us, but may I move into something really quickly?
Go ahead.
You may, and also we don't have rails.
I know. I feel bad though because I do feel like I go down rabbit holes all the time. The CALGORITHM, I love it. I'm kind of sad I didn't know about it sooner, and I just need to ask. I'm pretty online. I know I'm not like the most online, pretty online. I'm pretty on Twitter. How have I missed this? Is it literally just because they weren't in the ACC?
I think so. I have a theory about this.
Tell me. Yes, tell me.
And my theory about this is that Cal Twitter has probably always been posting bangers
Mhm.
because you don't just appear out of nowhere and start posting bangers like this.
Mhm.
I think that we just never saw it because they're in the Pac 12
Yeah.
and they were doing all this shit at like midnight.
You're right. It was at like 3 a.m. or something.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Mhm.
That makes
I'm
a lot
gonna
more
say
sense.
this. I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Jordan. He's not here on the podcast, but his weird Oski posting
Yes.
that he did the past few years
It's true.
gotten us onto the CALGORITHM. And
Okay.
we got into the CALGORITHM. We have some folks that there's an account called Oski's Drinking Straw, which
Mhm.
Oski drinks through his eye. We've I'm not going to say we know the full.
We liked
force.
Cal Twitter before it was cool.
We didn't know like the full force of Cal Twitter. Like
I think that's what I didn't know.
We
Yeah.
were aware of Cal Twitter and bits and pieces, and some of them followed us because we stayed up late and we watched
Mhm.
Cal football. We loved Cal football. We made Cal football the game of the week a couple of different times, and they appreciated like us. We got what they were. We loved them going to the Independence Bowl. Hell, Jordan went to the game. Like we've always gotten like Cal Twitter and Cal like football. We understand what they are and what they bring to the table. I feel like this is a combination of them kind of being good this year
Mhm. Mhm.
and then new into a different world at the same
Mhm.
time. So like now they're in the ACC. Now they're being exposed to completely different markets. Now when
Mhm.
they beat Auburn is one
You
of the most
guys,
online
that was
fan
so good.
bases
Yes.
known to man. And when they went toe to toe with Auburn,
Mhm.
or just like swarmed Auburn, I feel like that was when Cal Twitter became a thing. The CALGORITHM became a thing. Then last week when they were yelling at throwing cards at on the field, getting penalties, we're like, oh my God, this is totally an ACC team. They should have been here the entire time. This is like our long lost brother. This is, Cal to the ACC, even though they're on the West Coast. This is the ACC brother that moved across the country, but you still keep in touch with. This is the one that grew up playing lacrosse in like in Virginia. Basically just goes out to the West Coast and gets a tech job, and they're just out there doing their thing, being hilarious. And just this is what they are. Like Cal has always been like this, and I love to see Cal Twitter get their shine. And the CALGORITHM is kind of taking over Twitter. It's insane. Like we have Stuart Mandel, like the editor of the
Mhm.
Athletic, just like, hey, I really love these Cal memes. Can you send me more? Like,
I was
hey,
all up in that thread because I was like,
incredible.
this is amazing. This is so
This
good.
is, I mean, they are embracing everything about
Yeah.
what you think Cal is and just going full force. And it's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. And I mean, they play Florida State this weekend. We'll just go right into that one. That
Mhm.
we're leading, with this one as a potential Sickos game of the week. So I did a poll on this, and I just asked a question, and I wanted to throw it into the CALGORITHM. It says, "Is Cal at Florida State the runaway Sickos Committee game of the week?" And I was like, reply with other suggestions if not. So we can start here with this. 86% of the votes said yes. 7% of the votes said no. 7% just said see results. We had 3,650 votes on this poll.
Mhm. So I will say this, and I will say this as someone who originally voted for this game. I think that the CALGORITHM has gotten too big. Not in the sense that it's too big. I look forward to college football internet and our new benevolent overlords Cal Twitter. But there are too many people paying attention to this game now. This can't be our game
Okay.
because there's too many people paying attention to it now.
You're in my mind right now
Mm-hmm.
because that's where I'm going.
Mhm.
Like there is too much attention to this.
Mhm.
This is now not unconventionally appealing.
No, this. The normies are interested in
The
this now. It's
normies
like
want to
picking
know.
Colorado last year.
The
The
normies,
normies know.
the normies know about
I
this
don't
game.
want to say we're college football hipsters, but we're very much sounding like that right now.
We are.
You sound like my brother in music. My brother's such a music hipster. I'm going to see Weezer on Friday night, and there are 2 opening acts. The Flaming Lips, which I'm so excited about.
Oh, I love the Flaming Lips.
I know, I'm so excited. And then also a group called Dinosaur Jr.,
Mhm.
which see, don't know him. And I was like, I have like my best friend and my brother are both going, and my best friend was like, "Oh, do you want to see Dinosaur Jr.?" I was like, "No." She's like, "What about your brother?" And I was like, "I'm sure he doesn't." And I texted him. He's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I love them." And I was like, "Of course you do. Of course you do." Anyways, yes, we are absolutely hipsters. I love it. I love it.
I just gonna put it this way. I'm not gonna necessarily say the hipster thing, but we go for the unconventionally appealing. But now this has become a thing. Like
It's
this
not.
is now. This is conventional. This is mainstream.
It's not exactly conventional, but it has become mainstream. And I think one of our goals here at the committee, if I may, is to shine a light on unconventionally appealing things. And sometimes those unconventionally appealing things get popular without us, in which case we should point our light somewhere else.
I feel like the Cal at Florida State game is one that, just looking at this poll, it's an expected pick from us.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that they're like, oh yeah, the committee's going to pick this one, and they should pick this one. And then there were some Cal Twitter folks that were just like, if we don't, we riot. And I'm like, do I want the Cal Twitter to riot on me? Do I want the CALGORITHM to overtake the Sickos Committee? Do I want to become the
What's funny to me is that one game that I kind of think we should pick instead. I have my own pick. I will articulate my reasons for that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But a game that I think is another strong candidate is, of course, the game that Stanford is playing in, which is, of course, a rival to Cal, because Stanford is also going east, and they are going
anchor Cal Twitter.
They are going on a Friday night to Syracuse, New York.
Oh, yeah. I like this as a pick, actually.
That's one that's up there. Cuse on a Friday night is like an all-time committee favorite. Anytime you go to Syracuse and it's that weird Friday night game, something ridiculous happens. And
in the world's largest carpeted trash can.
It is the meme that we have, or the gif that we have of the Syracuse fan where the girl just going, "This is so fucking stupid," and then the guy in front just going, "Woo!" That is Syracuse football. This is that's where I was going on Friday. That's there. Honestly, that would really infuriate Cal Twitter. The only thing that I have against that is that we already made Stanford a game of the week, right? With TCU. So that's the thing. It's kind of like, okay, we already did this with Stanford. Do we do it again? Are we inviting Cal Twitter to hate us? Is the game so obvious that we're just forcing ourselves to pick something different because we feel it's too obvious? Is that what it is? Do we know what network the Cal Florida State game is on? It's on ESPN2 at 6 p.m.
I was hoping it would be on ACC Network.
If it was buried that far, maybe. The thing that Stanford and Syracuse on Friday, it's on ESPN. There's some more things on Thursday. There's South Alabama at App State, which has a potential to be a Sun Belt banger. That, for sure. That one. South Alabama comes off of scoring 87 points against Northwestern State. App State down 16-0 to East Carolina. They come back and win it 21-19. I don't know what to make of either one of those teams, but both of those teams had aspirations on winning the Sun Belt, and that'll be a Thursday night fun one. Also, we have ranked Illinois at ranked Nebraska, ranked NERBNOIS on Friday. Somebody asked.
I just want to say, like, I feel like we can't be ranking. It can't be a ranked on ranked power conference game. I feel like that's like a line
That's
that I'm
too
not willing
appealing.
to cross.
But it's Nebraska and Illinois.
Yeah.
Man, do you know what? Like,
This is
I
like
know.
ranked BC. Like, yes, it's a thing.
Okay. I know that like we're not that old, but like
Thank you,
Nebraska
first of all.
has a certain
Yeah, thanks.
place in the history of the sport.
I do, but like you and I were like in cradles when Nebraska was good the last time.
Tommy Frazier, yeah. Some of us
I
remember
was
the good.
walking. I was using the toilet.
What years was that? Tell me.
Like
Uh,
or turn of the century, like
97 was their
2001.
last national
I mean,
championship.
97 was their last night, but they still won games.
They were a participant in the championship in 2001.
That was true.
That's true.
I remember 2001. I never. Well, no, I don't want to say I'll never forget 2001 because that's like my first memory of like an actual event, like not like just something like with my family or around the house. But no, the I feel like when we talk about Nebraska, like I get that they've had like a bad 5-year run, but like before that,
That's a
they
little bit
were
longer than
that.
It's
They haven't
about
made a bowl
that.
game since 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So that's 8 years. Okay,
Yeah.
wow. I mean, that's COVID. That's COVID right there. That time doesn't count. But like prior to that, like yeah, Nebraska wasn't like winning national championships, but like they were still winning like 9 games. Like I don't know. I feel like
that is the whole joke that September 4th is Bo Pelini Day because it's 9-4.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the thing that kills me is like Nebraska really fucked up when they fired him.
I forgot about that.
I don't know.
Joke.
I just think like Nebraska has gotten too good for us, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
Wait, because they've won like. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
It's not just that they've won 3 games this year so far and they're ranked, but they actually look competent too.
They do. That's true.
Yeah, they haven't played with their food.
It's not some
That's
weird.
true.
It's not
That's
some
true.
weird fluky last second wins. They've been competently winning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they're
They
not
have
really
not.
sicko this year.
They have not played with their food at all. They have competently like handled business. There wasn't any type of like slip up whatsoever. There hasn't been
I mean, they did coast to victory against Colorado.
They did coast to victory against Colorado, but they kind of had that one. I will note that the last time Illinois and Nebraska played each other as ranked teams, what year do you think it was?
1950.
Okay.
I was going to say I don't think it was when Nebraska was in the Big Ten, so it's probably just a random bowl game.
It was before the
Actual
Big
answer,
Ten.
maybe 2007.
No. Okay. Any other
Before
guesses?
the Big Ten. Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because they've only been in a conference for like a decade.
1983.
Wait,
This is
hold
what
on.
I'm saying.
They were in the Big 12 before they were in the Big 10.
Illinois
Nebraska
was always in the Big
Nebraska
Ten.
was. Illinois has been in the Big Ten forever.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought we were talking about it because Arthur said that they've not always been in a conference. I was like, no, they have. I think.
Well, they
meant not in the
both
same
of them.
conference.
Oh, sorry, same conference.
Yeah.
I'm following now. Sorry. I'm going 1994.
Nebraska's national champion that
Arthur,
year.
you got a guess?
Are we playing Price is Right rules? I'm going to say 1898.
If we're doing
Did they
Price
have
is Right
rankings
rules,
back then?
if we're doing Price is Right rules, Andy gets it. The corn correspondent, 1985 is the last time that a ranked NERBNOIS happened. Illinois was 20th, and Nebraska
That's a
was
good
18th.
vintage.
The 1985 vintage NERBNOIS. So that was the second game of the year in Nebraska. Nebraska won that game. Is this a palindrome? 52-25.
That is a palindrome.
That is a palindrome. So that's the last time we've had a ranked NERBNOIS.
A ranked palindrome NERBNOIS.
Yes.
So fancy.
Yes. So, I mean, again, when you do rank versus rank, it's weird. It's a Friday night game. They're both in like the 20s. So they're kind of like not really ranked, I would say, at this point. Like they don't have enough staying power if one of them lost.
Mm.
Like one of them's dropping out if they lose this game. Likely. unless it's in a weird fashion and like quadruple OT, and it's that'd be great if it happened on a Friday night.
9 overtime NERBNOIS.
No, no,
NERBNOIS.
It would take a blood week for both of them to stay ranked, I think.
probably. So that's what else we got on Friday. Illinois look competent too. Like they haven't really played with their food either, and they took care of Kansas, which we don't know what Kansas is now because again, but they took care of Kansas. They handled business. They stormed the field, go right ahead. Illinois, they've brought back the good juju of the '90s for Illinois.
I'll say it. Big Ten Bielema is good.
Big Ten Bielema he's got a good fit, but it's just that like he'll get it going, but then he'll fall apart at the end of the season. If they can avoid that, because they had the Big Ten West, I think like a couple of years ago, but then they just completely collapsed. I think it was 2022, but yeah, they completely collapsed then. If they can keep it together, maybe they got a shot. But another Friday night game, San Jose State, 3-0 Ken Niumatalolo on the road at Washington State at Pullman, 9 p.m. on the CW.
So this is my pick, and I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me.
This, I believe, is the first time ever that the CW is doing a Friday night game. The CW, right, they've done 2 games in one day, and they've done 2 games on Saturday before. But to my knowledge, this is their first ever Friday night game. Now, what's interesting about this is it's a Friday night game that is going to start at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is kind of odd for like a game on a broadcast network, right? Typically, this is like that's when, your like Foxes, your ABCs, your NBCs, what have you, they go to their, syndicated programming and they go in. And the CW said, no, we're going to put a college football game here. But the number one thing I'm looking at with this game is the entire package of CW on a Friday night, because the CW is doing a doubleheader, not college football. They have a lead in for this game that is also making history. They are doing the first ever NASCAR race on the CW. And guess what? It is the Xfinity Series season finale from Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, what this means, if you are not familiar with NASCAR, is that NASCAR might be the sport that can go like just wildly over time.
Yeah.
In the most unexpected ways. Like I guess baseball, like you can have unlimited extra innings, but I think NASCAR is second there because NASCAR has a rule where in order to end the race, you have to be able to do a full lap and get back and take the white flag, and then the race can end. Which means that, this game is scheduled for 10 o'clock Eastern, right? It's going to be 7 o'clock local. But I have no idea what the CW's plan is for what happens if there's any sort of overlap, because like they don't have their own streaming app, right? When at ESPN, when they have a game run over, it's like, oh, well, this game is starting on the ESPN app or, on ESPN News or something like that. Like NBC has like CNBC or something they can kick a game to if they have to. The CW has none of that. So there is a potential here for, fans. You get excited for San Jose State at Washington State. I cannot say for certain when that game you're going to be able to actually see it.
Arthur, I think you might have sold me. Honestly, 9 p.m. on Friday on the CW probably would have done it, or 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday on the CW probably would have sold me just for that. But on top of this, we've got the potential of like, oh God, the NASCAR race ran really long and we're doing picture in picture now.
And I want to stress, like, this is Bristol Xfinity, which is the race
is going to be so dumb.
That is a particularly messy track. It basically, if you get lucky, the cars are running, they get all strung out and then they finish under green. Like if there's a caution that bunches everyone up and they have a restart in like the last 20 laps, like I don't know if you're ever going to see this college football game.
Yeah, it's like watching the end of a close college basketball game when everybody starts fouling.
Yeah. No, honestly, that's the vibe. And it's gonna be the first ever Friday night CW game right after the first ever NASCAR race on the CW. And this is gonna be a thing now because the CW has the broadcast rights for the Xfinity series. NBC had them. NBC like didn't want them to the extent that the CW is taking over early. They were supposed to take over starting next season, and then just like the last few races of this season, they're getting them. But those are consistently Saturday. So from now on, the CW games will be dealing with NASCAR for pretty much the rest of until November, and that's going to happen like every year now.
I mean, maybe there's a secret One Tree Hill channel that we don't know about. I'd be excited about that development.
I'm sure that's on Pluto TV.
Anyways, maybe there's a secret, like, yeah, One Tree Hill, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Maybe there's a secret channel somewhere where all they play is that, and they're gonna bump it to that.
This is Wazzu's wild. Their quarterback is erratic throwing the ball, but electric running the ball. And then San Jose State, they have the offense to spread and shred, but they're mainly pass based. They haven't really gotten, I would say, I guess the rushing game going so much, but they've thrown the ball a ton. The one thing that I'd be concerned about is that the last two games, San Jose State played two option-based attack teams, and they held them in check defensively. John Mateer for Wazzu is a wild card. Like, he is the ultimate Detmer person if you can factor in rushing yards, which we still haven't figured that out yet, which we're trying to figure that out. But he's, like I said, last week he was 17 for 34 for like almost 200 yards passing, one touchdown, one interception, but ran like 19 times for like 62 yards and 2 TDs. So there is a feast and famine there. It's in Pullman. It's on a Friday night. Pullman on a Friday night has a special aura. The lead-in is a race in Bristol, Tennessee. This is on the CW. It has all of the elements to be essentially game of the week. We have done a couple Friday night games of games of the week, which is, again, it feels like we're trying to make a case to go against the obvious at this point.
I think this is a pretty good case, though.
It is
also,
a good
the
case.
last Friday night game of the week we picked was a banger.
It was amazing. So let's continue on for the next thing. So we've moved off of Thursday and Friday. We've already discussed Cal and Florida State, the CALGORITHM. We've done that. The next one I have, Arkansas at Auburn. Who can predictably tell me? Who can tell me what's going to happen in this game?
No one. Anyone who is telling you they think they know what will happen in this game is a liar. The only thing I can tell you with confidence is that this game is going to be real dumb.
There is going to be some stupidity. There's probably going to be a clock commander of the week. Now we're keeping an eye out for it. I feel like somebody's going to do something really stupid with their timeouts.
Yeah, my money's on Arkansas doing something stupid with timeouts.
Yeah.
Like, as annoying as Hugh Freeze is, I do not think of this as one of his vices.
I don't think Hugh Freeze is, that's one of his, issues is clock management. But maybe. Auburn did switch quarterbacks last week, so they do have a different quarterback. Maybe their Auburnness has been reduced by switching quarterbacks. But who knows?
0% chance.
I don't know. But this one, oh, Lord. The next one I had listed in the preliminary rankings is UTEP at Colorado State. The main reason for this, which I made a lot of cases for this one here. So I wrote a bunch. So somebody was just like, what's the allure of UTEP versus Colorado State? So I was like, it's just up there for now, but I have a feeling it is so red analytics wise. And so I got the analytics from Stats of War. There is no squares there's only one square on both teams that are blue.
Mm-hmm.
The rest are red
Mm-hmm.
or dark red.
This is the stoppable object versus the movable force in
That's right.
every possible way.
So UTEP's offense is awful. Colorado State's defense, awful. UTEP's defense, not great. Colorado's offense, not great either. The only thing that they have in common is rush rate over expected. And they're pretty good at that. That's it. Anything else, their offensive success rate, their expected points. Oh my God. It is insane. They have Colorado State at like favored by like 5 analytic wise. I did want to let you know that Colorado State took Jay Norvell from Nevada, and this is his third year now. If Colorado State loses this game to UTEP, their coach is probably going to be on the hot seat. I will say that. UTEP is looking for their first win with their new head coach, and this is kind of likely their first real shot. They played at Nebraska, and then they played at likely Conference USA champion. The uniform matchup is going to be great. The orange helmet of UTEP with the green and gold of Colorado State is going to be great. Also, I have a couple of different things here. Is UTEP has a really fun offense and a new head coach with Scotty Walden. Scotty Walden led Austin Peay to back-to-back UAC titles before moving here. He's only 34 years old. He went to Sul Ross State, and he's from Alpine, Texas, or Alpine, Texas, whatever you want to say. But he's from there. And he's kind of close to like West Texas, so he's like an El Paso Kid area, which is a thing here. And this one is kind of the one that it's on True TV at 4 in the afternoon. This is going to get lost. Like nobody's going to be on True TV. This is one that I wanted to just
4 Central?
4 Central. In the middle of nowhere, this game is.
What?
That's that good time slot of this game's wrapping up. Let's move over to a game that's still going.
That's fair, but like that's just such a weird kick time. 5 p.m. Eastern. What is that?
Yes,
I don't like that. That's gross.
That's like I said,
called
it's
True
gross.
TV.
It's weird. Nobody is watching this.
They got to finish off the run of Impractical
Nothing good
Jokers.
starts at 5 p.m.
I want to point out, this is a practical thing, but YouTube TV will feed it to you and you won't have to know the channel. Like because it knows like what we want. And yeah, I will say that's going to help them. Just, I mean,
YouTube
not
TV is going to be like, hey, Katie, I know you want some UTEP at Colorado State.
You want some True TV in your life? Yeah, I do.
I'm going to argue about YouTube TV knowing what I want because it still thinks that I want to watch Pat McAfee over lunch, and I do not.
Oh, I have never been suggested that. Ooh, gross. Yeah.
YouTube TV always shows me political ads now, so I don't think they have my best interest at heart.
Okay, I don't.
That's just
They
because
can't
we
control.
live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I get them too, y'all. Welcome to Florida. We can't control the commercials, but they do a great job of showing me exactly what I want to watch.
Like usually on Saturday it's good, but just every day at lunch it's like, hey, do you want to watch Pat McAfee today?
No.
And I say, no, I do not.
I wonder if that's pushed by like other networks. They're just like, hey, you want to watch this? Probably. They're gaming the CALGORITHM.
The CALGORITHM has infected my YouTube TV. I'm tweeting that. Don't take it.
YouTube
It's
TV
the
is like,
woke agenda.
hey, YouTube TV is like, hey, Katie, there's nothing finer than a UTEP minor. You want to watch this game?
Honestly, if YouTube TV was
wham
like
bam,
really
say hello to the
smart about
Rams.
it,
No,
like I don't know if I would ever watch college football because there are enough like movies that they could just like distract me with that I just think I would forget about sports. Like,
Hey Arthur, do you want to watch John Wick again?
I do.
Hey Arthur, after that, you want to watch Bloodsport?
Yes, but I want to be able to fast forward through all of the parts where they're just talking. I just want to see the action.
Fighting. You just want the fighting end.
Do you want to watch the
Which that's
Accountant?
actually how watches Bloodsport. It's like his favorite movie, but he fast forwards through all the boring stuff. Just the fight scenes.
Just get me to the part where he's blinded.
Yes, that's the best part.
That's it. It's just like, ah. And the song cloud just yelling, I'm blind.
Speaking of ads, we have our own ads that we should
Oh,
probably get through.
I guess so.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah,
You are good at this, Pitt Girl.
Pitt
You're
Girl.
very good at this.
A woman of many talents.
I try. So we got all the things. As always, check out our link tree in our Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky. We got all the discounts. Do you like tea? Do you like coffee? Do you like various other things? We got discount codes for those. Go check them out. We also have our Patreon and Discord. That's how you help us go to things sometimes. And also you get to hang out with us in there, participate in the weekly rankings debate, see the inner workings of our brain and the weird swamp that we emerged from. And you can help us do research and do all that other stuff. And we've got podcasts behind the paywall. So Commish's Corner, yes, rah, rah, yes, all that good stuff back there.
I got
behind
one
the
of
paywall.
those recorded for the defunct bowl game, and I'm about to record one tomorrow too. So it's just a matter of when Jordan can edit it and get it up on the Patreon. He's on the injured list, I would say. Is it? I think that's what they call it now. But hopefully we can get something up. And I'm gonna try to get the series rolling and get a couple in the ether and just have them waiting to be loaded and just get some more stuff out to y'all.
All right. Beyond that, we got our merch store. We got koozies, we got magnets, we got wine glasses, we got all the good stuff. So go check that out too. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Twitch. Go to all the places, subscribe to us all the places. We like it when you click the button that says that you like us. So click the button, please.
All right. Please click.
We have the Substack. You can click that button too. That's another button you can push.
So many buttons.
So many buttons.
So many buttons. Click them all. Click
all of the buttons.
That's right. Improve
you can
your
also click
algorithm by clicking our buttons.
That's right. You can also improve your algorithm by clicking the button of our friends over at Message Board Geniuses podcasts. You want to see probably some good stuff from the Florida State message board on Saturday, if I had to guess.
What is it called? War Chant?
War Chant. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That sure is a place.
I think I shared with you guys that I told my mom what I said about her being very close to being a War Chant shitposter. And she started giggling. She was like, yeah, maybe. My dad was like, yeah, for sure.
I'm convinced that your mom would be.
Your mom's already
very
on there. I'm
gonna
say your mom is there already.
She probably is, y'all.
She is.
She's a mess. She's such a mess.
She just
no mom.
No,
yes,
yes.
Data
yes.
Year of birth.
I want to be clear that like my dad played at Florida State, and she is way more intensely like in all of this than he is. Very much so.
No mom. 19, whatever. That she's on.
Yes.
She's on the message board already.
Yep.
Tell her
mom
I said
59. She's out there.
She's ready to go.
No mom. She is there, expressing her frustration at Mike Norvell. Make the change to another quarterback.
She has been on that train since day one. I want to be very clear about making the change at quarterback. It's incredible.
All right. So I have two more buttons you should push before we get off of the podcast business. First button, Sickos and home field apparel. Push the button. I don't know why I'm waving my shirt around. This is not a home field apparel shirt, but I see a Virginia shirt. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And Wahoo.
All right, and I see a Toledo shirt. Very nice.
That's right. I had to wear it in honor of their explosion in Starkville. The Rockets.
I am not wearing a home field shirt, but I did purchase one this week. And I feel like if you're struggling through your season, as I am, and would like to find someone else to like pull for the season, you should go through and find the funnest, which I think home field has their best sellers, which is always like a mix of like normal schools and some really fun ones. I don't know if mine is on the best sellers list, but there's a really good UCF Citronaut shirt. It's unbelievable. I just purchased that this week. So I will be adding it to my home field collection.
That was
Wonderful.
Good. That was a good shirt. One more thing. You doing the showcase?
Mm-hmm.
I got another thing on top of that.
I was going to do that thing too. That was going to be the last thing.
Yeah.
I got all the things.
Do the things.
All right. So if you have not yet started your home field apparel collection, you can start it at 15% off with code yes, ha, ha, ha. Yes, that's 3 ha's for 15% off. If you do not yet have a home field hat, we also have that Sickos hat showcase. We got all these hats now. We got Florida State versus Georgia Tech and Penn State versus WVU and Iowa versus Iowa State and the Bayou Bucket. And this week is Arizona State, Texas Tech. And all of these hats are 20% off, 25% off for anybody with discount code yes hat. Yes, that's 2 hats because originally there were 2 hats on the list, but now there are more
there's
hats
2 hats
and you
each
can get
week,
them.
so
And there's
it's
2
still
hats till this each week too, and you can get them until they're gone.
the
So go
Texas
get
Tech
your
one.
hats.
The Texas Tech hat is a brand new corduroy hat.
Ooh.
It is one of the
Ooh.
They're
brand new
giving us the
corduroy hats.
corduroys.
Yes, I ordered my Tulane corduroy hat, so I got that one. That is coming my way. I can't wait. Yeah, and the Texas Tech corduroy hat. The other one is an Arizona State snapback that is like 1990s style that just says Devils.
Ooh.
And there's Sparky
Ooh.
on it. It's great.
Like it. And last but certainly not least, we have our friends over at Learfield and the Varsity app, which is a great place to be if you are away doing errands, working on your lawn, whatever it is, and you want to follow what's going on with college football, but you don't have your quad box in front of you. Listen to the Varsity app, listen to the Blitz, and also we're doing a koozie giveaway. So if you listen to the Blitz, you might get some swag.
Definitely. So we post a tweet every week with the link to the Blitz. If you reply to that tweet, we pin it to our profile. If you reply to your tweet, to that tweet with your setup of what you're doing while you're listening to the Blitz, showing that you're listening to the Blitz outside by your pool, mowing the lawn on your phone. I mean, just show a picture of you listening to the Blitz. You got a chance to win a free koozie, which, I mean, if we don't get that many replies, you're probably going to get a free koozie from us. So, I mean, you get a koozie. You need something to keep your beverage cool. And all the folks at the Hellgate got a few koozies too.
Mm-hmm. I can confirm that they are high quality koozies.
They're double-sided.
I kept my beverage cold.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Prime members, have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
All right. With that, we should probably get back into it. I believe we left off with FAUCONN.
FAUCONN. I like that.
Oh, I like that.
That is a good.
FAUCONN.
Good job, Pitt Girl.
Thank you.
FAUCONN. Can we?
Yeah.
Can I combine
Gonna
that?
need a graphic for that.
Yeah, just like DuCon, it is FAUCONN.
FAUCONN.
FAUCONN sounds like a vehicle from GMC.
Mm-hmm.
It's the all-new FAUCONN. Only $1,500 down with special finance. The 8th time in this game they play the
Do they still make a Yukon?
They
what
do
do we
make
think the
Yukon.
Yeah, sure.
FAUCONN looks like?
The
Say, is
FAUCONN.
GMC still around?
GMC is still
Yeah.
around.
People still
Like
buy
the
them.
all-new GMC Sierra.
Oh yeah, I forgot
That's
about
their
the
big
Sierra.
seller.
Sponsor us, GM.
So, anyway, FAU at UConn, 6 p.m. on CBSSN.
Yeah, this one starts the what did I call this thing for UConn? It's the owl. I did Photoshops today for UConn's owl thing.
And they're great. You should check them
Are
out.
they the
Yeah.
Owl Onslaught?
It's the UConn's owl onslaught. This is when they start. They have 6 straight games at home. This is their first game at home. They play FAU. Then they get to I believe it is Temple and then Rice. So they play 6 straight games at home. This is 3 owls in like 5 games. They're even selling an owl ticket package. Like you can get all games to all the owl opponents for like $36, starting at $36.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that for you,
I
UConn.
think they bought into us just talking about the owls a lot. And you know, a lot of I think Sons of Nutmeg, which is an account that we follow. There's also something on the line here. If UConn beats FAU or any of the Owls, they're making donations to like a UConn charity with Sons of Nutmeg. And so we've joined in that. We'll make a $25 donation. Each win that UConn defeats an owl. So we are making a donation of $25. So FAU, we love you, but we kind of rooting for UConn here, so we can make some donations to charity for a good cause.
Mm-hmm. We do like a good cause.
So this one's going to be interesting. I really, really love this one. The next one I have is one of those Sun Belt Conference USA clashes, which this is one where they have like the bragging rights in the same area between the conferences. Like there's a bit of a Sun Belt Cuse rivalry going on here if you don't pay too much attention to it. But it's Southern Miss at Jacksonville State. So Rich Rod is 0-3, and they're not happy in Jacksonville, Alabama. They welcome in Will Hall's Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And it feels like both of these coaches could be in a little bit of hot water if they don't win this game. And so this is a bit intriguing to me because Will Hall needs to get Southern Miss going this year. And yeah, Rich Rod took them to a bowl game last year, but they're not happy with the 0-3 start. And Rich Rod is not notoriously known as an incredible, nice personality to get along with. So that could be some interesting fireworks there in Jacksonville, Alabama.
I have a question really quick about Rich Rod. When do we feel like he peaked in his career?
West Virginia.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
I guess he did enough. Well, I mean,
was he there when Pat White was there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
him. Like my brother's favorite team. My brother's a Florida fan, but that's his favorite
Pat
team
White,
of the time.
Steve Slayton.
That's
the infamous 13-9. That's right. Which Beth is not here to kill us, but she'll listen to this and then she'll just be like, "I want to fight you."
I'm gonna fight you.
But yeah, that was kind of his peak. Like he had him on the brink of a national championship game in the BCS era.
And then what happened?
And then 13-9 happened. But that was a game that
everybody had a good time.
Everybody had a great time.
I think I have to remember this correctly. My brother loves Rich Rod and Pat White, like that era of West Virginia football. And he used to use them in the EA, the 14, whatever the old game was. We were talking about this weekend with one of his friends, but Florida State's last bowl game was against West Virginia in the Gator Bowl. And I'm trying to remember now. I'm going to have to look up if Rich Rod was coaching that. Anyway, sorry, I've derailed us again. Rich Rod peaked at West Virginia. I agree.
Yeah, he did good enough at West Virginia to get hired at Michigan. So,
I feel like that if we'd have got the fourth year at Michigan, maybe they would have been a lot better. I kind of had they showed signs in the third year, but Michigan didn't give him the fourth year. And then he went to Arizona. Arizona was okay. Like they would be feisty. They'd make some bowl games, but like nothing to the top of the Pac-12 at the time. Then he bounced around a bit with his 1 year as offensive coordinator at ULM, along with Ole Miss, and then parlayed that 1 year at ULM, upsetting like Liberty as a 33-point underdog to the head coaching job here at Jacksonville State. And then he stole ULM's defensive coordinator, too, in the process, while getting his son the quarterback for ULM, which was quite interesting. But a lot of ULM talk. Moving on, we have another game in the SEC that is on the radar for Sickos Game of the Week. Florida at Mississippi State.
I like the show notes on this.
Who put the show note here?
Where it just says LMAO. Thank you to whoever put that there, because that is correct.
I mean, you got two teams, and the team that is probably, I think, having the worst time is the one that's not coming off a loss at home to Toledo, where it wasn't even competitive. This is somewhat of a revenge game for a coach that is not at either program anymore.
Nope, he is. He's broadcasting, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be doing this game. That would be a good bit.
It would be great if he was calling this game. Can Dan Mullen call this game somehow?
I'm gonna look up what
ESPN.
Who's calling this,
it's on ESPN.
No, I know it's on ESPN, but I got to look up the announcers.
We need to look up the announcing crew for this one.
Please.
It's funny that Mississippi State fans are like, this is the revenge game, even though like they fired his ass years ago. Like, it's like
Mississippi
going
State
and
didn't fire him, but like
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
hired
Florida
him
fired
away,
him,
and then Florida
like
fired him a few years ago.
yeah, like he hadn't been the coach there for several years. It's like going and like TPing your ex's apartment, but they moved out. Like it's just like
it's TP in
man.
your ex's car that she sold 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen's doing the Thursday game. He's not doing this one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, he usually does those Thursday games.
Damn
But
it,
no,
Dan.
I mean,
Go to
man,
Starkville.
Florida is, you talk about a school that like it has some money problems trying to fire their head coach.
They don't have a president right
They
now.
have a
don't. They do
president,
not have a president. Their
and then their
athletic director,
yeah,
he needs to go.
and then the
man.
president. Look, I don't want to get into the details of the president, but the president that they hired apparently hired a bunch of people to do jobs that.
Oh, he would just take him money. He was just
I'm just gonna let
money
that
was
go.
flowing out. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
and making
Like,
up positions. I mean, that's kind of what we do here. Is like, you are the Pop-Tart correspondent, Katie. So
yeah,
I would
we
just
don't
say
my
get
favorite
paid
private
quite
Yeah,
as
the
well.
difference
as
is that we're not doing any crimes.
No, we're
Yeah.
not doing any crimes
that
as
you know of.
yet. That we know of.
Can I briefly detour this just to ask while I have
Just
you,
do it.
Katie?
Mhm.
Katie, how are we feeling about Florida State? Because I'm really looking forward to pointing and laughing. I don't know about you.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute horror show.
I'm gonna get you and Melanie on the podcast before that day.
You should
Like
actually.
Melanie,
You know
I am
what?
gonna text Melanie, the Florida fan, and
We
your friend, and the other Pop-Tart bowl correspondent,
Pop-Tart
and I'm gonna be
correspondent.
like, we're having Katie and Melanie, and they're just gonna duke it out and preview the Florida State
We
game.
need to actually have my brother as well because
Throw
he
him
actually.
on.
Okay, so this is really funny. I had a bunch of people over to my house on the Saturday after my birthday to watch games, and Florida State wasn't playing, which was so great. And my brother came on my
Best birthday gift ever this year.
really, truly. My brother has mentally checked out of Florida football probably since McElwain was fired because he's like, I can't get, well, actually, that's not true. He got a little bit invested during Dan Mullen's time, but he's like, I can't do it. We have gotten him back in because he came over and he actually texted us and was like, hey, can we watch a game together again? But my brother being in the mix, because my brother is like a defeatist like me, where it's like, yeah, this is just trash. And Melanie kind of remains hopeful. It's really funny to watch a game together with them because it's just it's a dichotomy. But anyways, yes, the last 2 years I've gone to the game with my brother and my little sister Carrie, and Melanie went with us last year too. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a shit show, honestly. Parker's little thing where you can put in the teams now. I kind of want to do that every week until that'll be my new bit. Do that every week until we play and just see how much worse and worse, how much redder and redder it gets. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be emotionally unwell by then, and probably Florida too. Although they're probably going to have a Band-Aid ripped off when candidly they fire Billy Napier, and we have no Band-Aid to be ripped off unless they bench DJ and Brock somehow gets great. That's
the thing is, like, when you're talking about Sicko stuff, like Billy still needs to be there to make it Sickos. As soon as the interim comes, it's not as Sickos.
The
as
vibes shift.
Their interims can have a good time.
Unless they're riding an ATV at Mississippi State. That's it. They need to be riding an ATV like the Mississippi State and saying this is about hard work. This is about adversity. That's what they need.
What if they get the Florida interim coach a gator?
Okay, so the Florida interim coach rides out on a gator.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just funny if like you bring in the interim and then the team gets real good.
I mean, there's a chance that happens because
yes.
there'll be fewer people yelling on that sidelines with all those coaches.
So are you saying that Florida's going to hire Coach O?
No, Brent Key.
No, that'd be really funny.
Well, he's busy at Georgia Tech.
Right, but he did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't take him away from us.
Point. No, I think.
No, we want to keep him.
I'm going to call my shot right now. At this time next year, Florida's head coach is going to be Lane Kiffin. And
I don't think He doesn't want that heat.
Oh,
Yeah,
You don't think?
Doesn't
I feel like he would go for that.
okay.
Because he's
Kevin,
been trying to get
Kevin,
jobs
mark
that
this
are not
down
in
for Arthur's like
Mississippi.
prognostications that you're tracking. Apparently,
I mean,
think
look.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like he's put himself up for like the Auburn job. Like he's put himself up for a lot. He doesn't want to stay in Oxford. Like at Florida, I think he would jump at that. And I think Florida fans could talk themselves into like, well, like he can work the portal, and that's where we've been lacking is like we haven't been able to get guys in the new college football, right? Like we hired someone who was a recruiter in the old college football. We need someone for the new college
it
football.
did kind of change as soon as Billy Napier got there, which was messed up.
I do think, like, I will say this about Florida. Like, I just don't think that, like, they, A, have the money, and B, they definitely don't have the money all organized in the right way. And, like, I'm not saying this just to, like, fire their coach. I'm saying, like, organizationally for, like, a decade. Like, they were good in the 2000s, and, like, other programs spent a lot of money, and, like, they aren't at that level right now. Like, you look at Georgia, like, Alabama, those are their peers, and those are who they've fallen behind.
So, a few things. Number one, I think that I love Lane Kiffin, candidly. I just love how online he is. And I think that Lane loves his work-life balance right now. He's given a little more leeway at Ole Miss than he would be given at other schools. I agree that he wants to get out of Mississippi. I don't disagree with that. But I think that the Florida job is a job that chews you up and spits you out. It's intense. So I don't know that I think he would end up there. I also think when he's putting his name up, he's renegotiating that contract I know he has a limited number of times that he can do that, but and a limited amount of money, but I think that's what happens. I don't know if this is still true. I've got to look it up. When I was in college and right after I graduated, which was a long time ago, but Florida has the largest booster program. They did at the time one of the largest booster programs in the country. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of bowl gators, which is their highest level of donor. So they don't have A&M money, but in the SEC, in terms of their alumni base and their boosters, they've got a lot of money, and yeah, I feel like they can definitely swing it for someone big. I don't know if it's going to be Lane or not, but anyways, yeah, sorry. I've derailed us again.
So Floyd of Rosedale.
Wait, what?
So Floyd of Rosedale.
What's Floyd of Rosedale?
On network television.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Iowa, Minnesota at 6:30 on NBC.
NBC primetime Floyd. This is
Lou Dang of Rosedale.
This is the invalid fair catch revenge match. Shout out to Minnesota for having probably the best collection of all rivalry trophies that they play for. Like they have some of it's oh my god, it is.
Yeah, they get an axe, they get a jug, they get a big bronze pig.
They play for like some of the best stuff that I think so. The brown jug, the Florida Rosedale. There's a rivalry game with Nebraska. The $5 bits of broken chair. Mm-hmm. The Wisconsin, the axe. The axe is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, rivalry trophy because I love the players running over to get an actual axe, mm-hmm. which is probably not necessarily like really sharp, but still like to hold up a ridiculous axe and then act like you're chopping down the goalposts or anything like that. I think my favorite one was the kicker Graham Lloyd, like making a field goal in the early 2000s and running directly to the Wisconsin bench to retrieve the axe, which is incredible. But yeah, this is the invalid fair catch revenge game. Iowa, Minnesota, Big Ten West forever. This is a top 10 Sickos game of the week, guaranteed. I don't know who wins this. I don't. It feels like Iowa wins it still, but I can see Minnesota winning it. but there is like Sickos lore between these two teams, and the way that the Floyd of Rosedale Trophy was created is incredible. Sickos lore.
Yeah, it was an actual pig once.
Yeah, and it's a 98-pound trophy thing of beauty here.
Love it.
It's great. Next on the list, we have Kansas at West Virginia. Beth has already declared this Kansas's get right game. West Virginia's back at home after the brawl, which Pitt Girl is probably like, woo, 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 yay.
I mean, I did wear a Kansas shirt on the Sunday
you did
show
do that
for a
just
reason.
just a taunt. Beth,
Pitt Girl has stopped shaking.
What?
I have stopped shaking. I did finally stop shaking. Yes.
Which, is a very subtle dig towards the West Virginia fan. I honestly don't know what's going to happen in this game. Either one of them. Does Kansas get right? Can Kansas get right? Does West Virginia let them get right? Does West Virginia handle the business at home? Do they, get right themselves and get themselves back to 500? This is the open of Big 12 play. What happens here in this game? I honestly don't know. It's 12 noon Eastern. Kansas has kind of been a bit of a nomad this year. They're not playing on campus because there's renovations. I don't know if that's affecting them too. But maybe them being on the road will feel a little bit more natural than them being away from campus, playing their home games, in Kansas City, which is not necessarily that far, but still, it's not home. So yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen there. Another one that is our Sickos hat showcase of the week. It's Arizona State at Texas Tech at 2:30 p.m. on FS1. Why is this game not late as hell? Just because it's in Lubbock? Still, make it like 9 p.m. in Lubbock.
Yeah, is Lubbock in Mountain Time anyway? Whatever.
No, Lubbock is not in Mountain Time. Lubbock is still in Central. The only city that is in Mountain Time in Texas is El Paso, essentially, which is weird. Which I didn't realize that until I went to like Las Cruces. I'm like, oh shit, we're in Mountain Time. And it was a time change that I hadn't planned for, so it caught me completely off guard. I was like, what the fuck? Holy shit, I'm in Mountain Time.
Was a mistake.
At least it caught you off guard going that direction and not the other direction.
Yeah, the other direction. True. I was like,
good point.
It still caught me off guard a little bit going the other direction. I'm like, oh shit. So like now this drive is even longer than what it was before. Because I'm going back in the time. And it's just, yeah, it's a mess. This game.
Point of order. This is a conference game, yes?
It is a conference game.
Okay.
So it's Arizona State's first Big 12 game.
I had to think about that for a minute.
It is
same.
It is Texas Tech's a Big 12 opener. Also, these teams used to be in the border conference together, and they have not been in the same conference since like 1950 something.
I was going to say it feels like spiritually right for these teams to be in a conference with each other. Actually,
they used to be long time ago.
Now we know why.
They used to be in the conference together. They used to be rivals, and then Texas Tech left the border conference for, I believe, the Southwest Conference. And, I think in the late 50s, if I got my border conference timeline right, because the border conference stopped existing in like the 1960s, early 1960, maybe even 1960. But yeah, this is an old border conference rivalry. This is like a great conference. I miss it. I wrote a Substack about it. I think I even did a Patreon podcast about it, which it was, wow. If I type in border conference, like my Substack is like the second result in images, which is incredible. I love it. And here it is beveled in the group chat. Enjoy that. So really a fantastic, game. Arizona State's 3-0. Texas Tech's 2-1. Texas Tech comes off the absolute beating of the Serene Green of North Texas. Arizona State survived a game at Texas State. They are 3-0, which is it's kind of a big deal. Like they had 3 wins all of last year, I think, and they already got that at 3-0 right now. So That is intriguing. I really wish this game was late at night.
Yeah,
Really.
I don't like 3:30 for this game.
I
It
don't.
feels wrong.
It feels wrong. It feels like a night game for sure, but like an afternoon game in Lubbock just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't. Um, Next game, Virginia at Coastal Carolina. That's right. The Cavaliers, the high class Cavaliers, are going to vacation on Myrtle Beach to see the Sunbelt foe of Coastal Carolina. Coastal is undefeated. Virginia's coming off, a tough loss to their old conference mate, Maryland. Virginia, the shirt that Andrew's got on right now, the Wahoo
Wahoo wah.
Wahoo Wah, is going to Myrtle Beach. This is weird as shit. Like, why is UVA going to Conway, South Carolina? Like, why are they going to the teal turf? We get
They wanna
Anthony
go to the
Calandria on the teal turf.
They got a tea time set.
They do. There's a lot of golf courses around there for sure.
It is funny too because like this is the fan bases not cultural do not go together culturally at all. But like Anthony Calandria's got kind of a Grace McCall vibe. I know he's not still at Coastal. He should still be at Coastal though.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
spiritually coastal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully he's better too, by the way.
Yeah. So, interesting. I'm intrigued.
Definitely. That is an interesting game. That's going to be up there on the rankings for sure. I will note the next game is this is probably, we already did the I think the helmet game of the week is UTEP in Colorado State for us, the Sickos Committee helmet game of the week.
Yeah.
It is UTEP in Colorado State. Another one that is a Conference USA game, and this is New Mexico State's second closest foe in Conference USA, which is clear across Texas, which is like about a 12-hour drive. And they play at Sam Houston. So the New Mexico State Aggies at Sam Houston. This is on ESPN Plus, which is this is where we live. This will be on the Quad Box because I am gonna love the maroon and orange here. This is gonna be sweet. New Mexico State trying to bounce back from a 48-0 loss to Fresno. Goes on the road to Huntsville, and they are playing the orange. And Sam Houston, they kind of need this one if they're gonna slowly make their way to bowl eligibility. So if Sam Houston can handle themselves here, they're on the track to bowl eligibility here, which is good.
Interesting.
Interesting for sure.
I'm super excited about this next one.
Yes.
Not necessarily because of what will be going on the field, but I am excited about that. But mostly I'm excited about the graphics that Western Kentucky's social media team put out today, where context listener, because I cut Commish off. I'm sorry. I'm a bad co-host. Toledo is playing at Western Kentucky, and all the graphics that Western Kentucky has put out so far are space themed, including like it's Big Red's head, but he's Saturn. It's so good. It's so good. It's such great like Western Kentucky social media team. You guys are great.
Can you imagine the meme war that would happen if Cal played Western Kentucky?
Ooh, that would be good.
You know what I think is funny about this game, right? So, like, who's Toledo's big rival?
Bowling Green.
I don't.
And where's this game?
Okay.
Bowling
it's in
Green.
Bowling Green.
Bowling
Different
Green.
Bowling Green.
The other
But
Bowling
not
Green.
that
Different Bowling Green. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So Toledo trying to go 2-0 against Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
I guess
Bowling
I
Green.
think that's what we're gonna call that. Also, this game, important game for that playoff spot that's gonna go to some conference champion. Obviously, I don't know if either of these teams will win their conference, but if one of them does, this could be important.
Toledo has a P5 win too, so like or P4. Ooh, that feels weird. Don't like that. Yeah. Anyway, Toledo, they got a good win. This is of note. I'm a little annoyed this is on ESPN Plus actually.
Yeah, this is one that I hate when they put this stuff on ESPN Plus. I just don't like it. It's just not ideal. It shouldn't be there. But it is. So there's only so many networks. But I just dropped the graphic in the chat for the Go Tops Space Jam theme. We follow the person that makes these too. She follows us too. She's awesome.
amazing.
She's awesome. She rules. Next game we got up is Rutgers at Virginia Tech.
Classic
Okay.
Big East football.
Classic Big East football game here. Rutgers at Virginia Tech. I just want to go Rutgers, yeah! Like Rutgers coming out to Thunderstruck. And then Virginia Tech blasting Enter Sandman.
That is a dad rock as hell
Mhm.
game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would Rutgers
Dad
come
Rock
out
Bowl.
to Thunderstruck, or would Rutgers come out to like Bon Jovi?
Probably Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Thunderstruck is Pitt's bit.
Okay. That's probably why I was in my head. Sorry. Yeah, Pitt came out to Thunderstruck. I realized that I was like, okay, and then like my kiddo really appreciated that because he was like, oh, he really got into the entrance there. But yeah, there's Rutgers comes out to what, Bon Jovi, like Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's got a good like intro. Like you got that wow wow wow.
yeah, you could do that. I would like You Give Love a Bad Name, Greg Schiano.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a good one. I'm like looking up Bon Jovi hits because I can't remember.
Dead or Alive is too slow. You can't do that one.
Wanted, Dead or Alive. Greg Schiano is Wanted. Oh, I mean, Rutgers going out in the blaze of glory.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, Rutgers fans that listen to this podcast, reply to our podcast tweet on Thursday when this comes out. What is Rutgers' entrance song? I need to know this. Like when they're at home in Piscataway, what does Rutgers, the football team, run out on the field to? I need to know.
But important questions.
This is a
I
great
could probably
game.
ask my aunt. She's a season ticket holder.
Ask your aunt. Auntie Rutgers.
What if it's the theme from The Sopranos? I did laugh so hard.
Oh my God. I woke up this morning, got myself a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It'd be pretty. Yeah, it'd be pretty like fierce. I'd like that.
Very New Jersey.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I would love this. This game is going to be, it's on the ACC network. To me, just putting Rutgers at Virginia Tech on the ACC network.
That feels weird.
It's a spiritual Big East game, so it feels like it's the Big East network.
Katie, there was a tweet from this past November with a video that's just Rutgers plays the Sopranos intro before home games. So it might be a thing.
Oh my God.
My word.
Okay, we got to figure this out. We got a bunch of Rutgers fans, and I'm sure we got a few. So we can go ahead and do that. So
I've got a video. I'm gonna put myself on mute because I'm watching a video of this now.
UCLA at LSU. That is going to be. I don't know what UCLA's got. LSU. I don't know what LSU is.
I mean, did you see what UCLA had at hosting Indiana? I'm not interested in this game at all.
This is on ABC.
Yeah. You can just move on.
Yeah, this game should not be on ABC. Moving on.
Purdue at Oregon State. That feels weird. On the CW.
On the CW.
Yes.
We like that.
We do.
We like Purdue at Oregon State on the CW.
I don't know what Purdue has after they got killed by Notre Dame. And then Oregon State.
Oregon State has a whole lot. So.
I don't think Oregon State has much either after they got killed by Oregon. So I have no idea what's going to happen in this game, but I'm going to watch.
CW. The CW will sparkle its CW pixie dust over it, and we'll get a weird one.
We'll definitely do that. Kansas State at BYU, 9:30 p.m. This is a late game on Saturday. K-State at BYU, not BW. Like BW. I just called BYU Buffalo Wild Wings. B-dubs. All the Cougar Tail shots for that weird like $5 donut that they have at BYU. Cosmo, the Cougar, is going to do something weird. K-State should probably win this game. Then we move on to the South Louisiana battle. Tulane at the Raging Cajuns, where they had the beer battle over the summer. It's at 11 a.m. That's weird. Why is that so early?
I don't like that.
I don't like that. It's weird. I don't know. I have no idea who wins this game. TCU at SMU is the Iron Skillet on the CW. So there'll be paid programming for cookware, and then there'll be the Iron Skillet game. Then paid programming for cookware after that, involving an Iron Skillet. Tulsa at Louisiana Tech, which that is, it's not a conference game, right? That's the American versus the Conference USA.
Yes,
it's not a conference game. Yeah, it's crazy.
This feels like a conference game.
It's not.
I have a feeling this one's going to be one of the weirdest games of the weekend. Wyoming at North Texas.
Oh, this is
the
interesting.
Green still serene?
Is the green mean or serene?
I mean, this is stoppable force versus movable object right here.
Yeah. I want to know
North
what's
Texas, how many points? I forget the exact total. I know
66?
it was over 60.
66.
Yeah, they gave up over 60. And Wyoming
is
they are not the lowest scoring team in FBS.
They're close.
Because they've played 3 games. Mm-hmm. So they do have a little bit of volume there. And they also just miss out on being the lowest scoring team that's played 3 games because there's another Mountain West team located very close to them that's also terrible on offense.
Yeah.
It's Wyoming and Air Force. Like, yeah,
Army 2.
Yeah, there might be just something like localized there.
There's something localized over the Colorado area.
Yeah.
Isolated weather event.
I thought off of is it I-25 that goes through Colorado?
Yes, it's I-25. Like maybe like the Space Jam aliens came in and they were like, we need offensive talent, and we just happen to be right here.
We stole Josh Allen and gave him to the Buffalo Bills. Houston at Cincinnati. That is a Big 12 game.
Ugh.
Not an American Conference game. At 11 a.m.
It feels so wrong and bad that Cincinnati's in the Big 12. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
James Madison at North Carolina. JMU, maybe.
Maybe.
Army continues with their Army Owl Assault. Army is going to play the FBS Owls 3 in a row. This is their second one. They beat FAU. Rice goes to Army, which that's going to be fun. Ohio at Kentucky. A MAC team at Kentucky. This is kind of where maybe I don't know. We got.
Can the MAC get 2 SEC wins?
Yeah,
My column.
I don't know. I mean,
it'd be really funny if Kentucky struggled in that game after what they did last week.
What they did with Georgia last week, which
would be really, really funny.
It'd be hilarious. Ball State at Central Michigan, we actually get some action. There is MAC games, MAC on MAC action. I don't know what to expect. Central Michigan got blown out. Ball State got blown out. I don't know what to expect here, but it's on ESPN Plus. It'll probably be on the quad box for me. Arkansas State at Iowa State. A Sun Belt team going to Iowa State is always tricky for Iowa State. Arkansas State kind of kept it close with Michigan, but who knows what Michigan is this year? I have no idea. Miami at South Florida. The Hurricanes.
Does this have a name? I feel like this should have a name.
But it should.
I just think it's funny to say Miami at South Florida, and
because it's not
South
Florida.
But
it's in Tampa. It's they got to go north.
Miami at South Central Florida.
Florida.
Also, really quick side note, Arthur, were you? I think I was listening to last week's episode, one of the episodes, and you were talking about all the expensive cars in Miami. Is that right?
Yes.
The Lamborghinis.
Mm-hmm.
I need to, next time I go down there, video, it is the land of just beaters. There's a few nice cars and just a lot of old cars. It's really funny.
It's a lot of Nissan Sentras that will catch up going 95 miles an hour.
A lot of Nissan Sentras and Altimas. Yes.
Yeah. I from what I've heard about drivers down there, they should be in Nissan Sentras and Altimas.
Yes.
But It should like I've never been to the state of Florida. Like I only see stuff on social media. The social media that Florida puts out is the nice cars.
Oh no, yeah, it's there's a lot of shitty cars. Yeah, yeah.
Don't
I
buy
was
what the
just
Florida
laughing.
Tourism Board is selling, Arthur.
In a Big Ten game, Northwestern at Washington. This is purple
Ew.
on purple. This is a Big Ten game.
Ew.
This is 6 p.m. on Fox.
This is waterfront on waterfront.
Waterfront on waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sailgating versus sailgating. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say sailgating versus sailgating. but yes, I don't know what to expect in this game. I don't know. I would think Washington wins this, but I have no idea. The one that is Pitt Girls being currently guilt tripped by Temple to go to this game. Probably one of the weirdest games of the weekend. Utah State at Temple at the link.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yep. Temple still on 0-12 watch. I have nothing else to add.
Can Utah State wear the cow helmets to Philly? I want that to happen.
I don't see why not.
Do that. Temple, you need to have like a Philly cheesesteak helmet or something. Like you need to have
raw cheesesteak ingredient versus
yes, the
cheesesteak.
steak. Yes.
Yeah.
Done. I mean, do that. It just like cheese. Put Cheese Whiz on the helmet on the tee. Just
you get a Cheese Whiz dump after the game.
Done. Georgia Tech at Louisville in a game that was quite sickos last year. It's kind of like, okay, are these two teams that could compete for the ACC title? Like, is this like who's battling for the Mayo Bowl berth at this point? I have no idea.
I guess you're right, but that feels weird.
It feels weird, but it's like, okay, these teams are kind of, I would say they're a little bit above mid-tier ACC. They're kind of like the B tier of the ACC, both of these teams. Louisville was kind of in the A- tier last year, and Georgia Tech is moving from the C+ to the B range.
I don't know. I'd say that Georgia Tech would always be in the B tier.
Hey!
Bees.
That's only because they're the bees. All right.
Not the bees.
Totally. Kent State, we wish you luck against Penn State. Please survive.
Make lots of money. Get fresh air. Have fun.
Kent State, you will die like men in Happy Valley. I feel like Kent State is the movie 300 at this point. I'm just like, whatever. We're swarmed. We're surrounded. But they have my sword. I will fight for Kent State, which is weird because I love Akron and Kent State, and I know they hate each other. I don't know. It's just nuts. Memphis at Navy. This is the game that Memphis trips up because Navy holds the ball for like 47 minutes. That's what it feels like. Probably wrong, but that's what it feels like. There'll be a big time possession. Hey, Notre Dame. There's another MAC team coming to South Bend. It's the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio, the defending MAC champions.
It would be so funny if they did it again.
It would be hilarious if they did that. Because
I don't think they're going to do it again, but it would be so funny.
Because Notre Dame beats an SEC team, loses to a MAC team, clobbers a Big Ten team in Purdue, and then loses to a MAC team again. If you can rank the scale of hilariousness, that it's way up there. USC at Michigan, I don't care, whatever. Pete Lem Buffalo at NIU. This is kind of one like NIU should probably win, but this is where the MAC crab bucket could get NIU, I would think. Duke goes to Murfreesboro, Tennessee to play Middle Tennessee.
Wait, why?
What? Why? They wanted some
How many
shots.
How many Duke fans do you think would travel for that game?
I don't think any Duke. Like the family.
No,
of the
I
players.
think it's close enough that you could loop that in with a trip to Nashville. That it's an attractive destination as like a fan trip.
I mean, This is positing the existence of Duke football fans. No disrespect to our followers.
It's going to be the players like families. There's not going to be like Duke football fans. Well, maybe some Duke fans live in Nashville and they would just go to
That's true.
Murfreesboro.
That's a good point. Hadn't considered that.
Like they don't live in Durham anymore, or they don't live in Charlotte. Maybe they got jobs in Nashville.
True. Good point.
I could see that.
Fair point. Fair point.
Hang out with Vandy fans. Yeah, Duke
I
and
was just
Vandy
thinking
fans probably hang out.
About culture clash of Duke alumni or fans
Duke
going
in
to
Murfreesboro. Like,
yeah.
It's like, hey, look, I'm in Murfreesboro, slumming it with the Jello shot makers, Jello shot machine makers. Totally. Baylor at Colorado on Fox, 7 p.m.
Primetime game for
Primetime Colorado again. Enjoy that. Can Baylor handle Colorado? I don't have no faith in Baylor. I have no faith in Colorado. I have no idea what's going to happen in that game.
I don't either.
Maybe we'll get lucky and this game will be stupid.
It'll probably be. Let's hope. Speaking of stupid, Michigan State at Boston College.
Ranked Boston College.
7 p.m. on the ACC network, 7 p.m. Central. Yes.
Ooh,
I love this.
Ooh, late night BC game. That's actually kind of a vibe.
Night BC in Chestnut Hill. You don't get those too often.
No, well, I know that this is the game this year that they're doing their red bandana night.
Oh, it's red bandana. BC
so
is great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say BC by a lot just because of that fact.
They have that red bandana power on that, and I love those jerseys, like the red bandana, like the numbers and stuff. They're awesome. They're great jerseys. The battle of the old man quarterbacks. Cam Rising, Utah and Oklahoma State, which the Oklahoma State QB, is it Alex Bowman?
Yep.
Yes. The age of these two QBs is combined 49.
Or sorry, it's Alan Bowman.
Alan Bowman. I'm sorry, not Alex. Alan Bowman.
Alex Bowman is a NASCAR driver.
Sorry. Yeah. You mentioned Bristol and I got confused earlier. So yes, the combined age of the two QBs in that game is 49. I think the combined age of like the Colts and whoever they play in the NFL is like 43 or 44. So this is the old man QB game. Break out the walkers for that. Whatever. Vandy at Mizzou. Some people said that Vandy, they lose to Georgia State. They could bring some spice to Mizzou, and I just don't know. I think Mizzou maybe has too many dudes, like Luther Burden, the third.
Vandy's saving the heat for Auburn anyway.
Maybe.
But also, through the power of Diego Pavia, anything can be done.
That is true. That'll be great. Fresno State at New Mexico on True TV. Fresno handled New Mexico State 48-0 last week. Can they complete the New Mexico sweep in back-to-back weeks? And maybe shut out the entire state of New Mexico and steal their red and green chilies in the process. I am actually curious about East Carolina because really, this is kind of one of the tests that has. So they have another one the next week against App State. And they gave App State a lot of trouble last week. East Carolina did. So this could be a test for.
Let's go Pirates.
True. Akron at South Carolina. Akron had a little trouble with toothpaste, but they beat toothpaste. South Carolina is probably mad that they lost to LSU, and they may have taken out on Akron, I think.
Yeah.
Bowling Green gave a nice scare to Penn State. They go to Kyle Field in Texas A&M. Scott Loeffler, this would be hilarious.
Why did Bowling Green schedule the two like big cult fan bases in the same year? That must be such an experience.
I mean, they probably did it for the money.
Well, yes.
You go to one cult to another cult?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's weird.
The Falcons fly from one cult to another cult. They migrated south to the southern cult. I guess. Please, Bowling Green, just put up a fight here. This should be interesting. My
We gotta
ULM,
talk about this one.
my ULM at Texas.
Commish, I feel like I don't want you to make a bet for it if
No,
ULM loses. I want you to make a bet for if ULM wins. What are you gonna do if ULM wins this game?
if ULM wins, like, what do y'all want me to do if they win?
Like they
'Cause
score more points. I'm not talking about like covering the spread or anything.
No,
like
like
if
if they
ULM
outright
goes
win
into
this
outright
game.
win this game.
Number one Texas. If they go in and win, what you gonna do?
Commish, I want you to commit to getting a horns down tattoo.
I like that.
Okay, on my butt. I'll do
Wherever you want to put it.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
gonna
pick.
put it on my. I will get a horns down tattoo on my left butt cheek, and I will put the score underneath it
Okay.
and the date.
Done.
Like ULM, whatever, Texas, whatever. Horns down on my left butt cheek. If this happens, I am getting my ass tattooed with this score. I will do that. I will do it. I don't have any tattoos on my body, but if this happens, this will be my first tattoo ever. And my wife is gonna be like, "Why did you tattoo this score?" I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But if that happens, I am putting my left butt cheek on the line for this one because I believe in General Booty, and I will get a tattoo on my booty if Texas wins this game. Former Oklahoma QB General Booty upsets number 1 Texas in Texas with ULM. Yeah, I will get the score. I will get a horns down on my ass with the score and the date this happens. If this happens, I will do that.
I'm just imagining like a billboard, like the Tide Rolled billboard that they made. I'm imagining one that says horns hooked.
Ooh, that's right.
I like that.
That's right. Horns down. The eyes of Monroe are upon you. Monroe, baby. If that happens, yeah, I will get
They'll
my
sing
ass.
the airplane song.
Sing the airplane song.
All right, we got to move on though. Next
Let's
game,
go. Fast one.
I want to shout this out. We got
Georgia Southern at Ole Miss. I don't think that's
at
going
Ole
to be
Miss.
close.
Future Florida head coach Lane Kiffin coaching in that game.
That's
Just saying.
Marshall head coach is trying to recruit Ohio State players by offering them all-you-can-eat Tudor's biscuits. It may work.
A reasonable offer.
A reasonable offer. I posted that on the timeline earlier today on Tuesday. NC State at Clemson. NC State is going with the backup QB. McCall is hurt. Clemson. Shout out to Dabo for finally embracing streaming TV and the quad box. He figured it out. He was like, he's watching the games. He's loving it. Maybe the quad box will open Dabo's eyes to the transfer portal also.
He'll finally be able to see a bunch of other players on other teams.
Totally. Charlotte at Indiana. Kirk Cignetti could have Indiana 4-0.
Hey.
Oh, Tennessee at Oklahoma. I don't care. Y'all talk your stuff. Tennessee and Oklahoma. They're doing enough trash talking between that. Besides the CALGORITHM. FCS versus FBS. Monmouth at FIU. FIU needs to win this game to keep the Pitbull streak alive because they've lost their 2 games on the road, and FIU needs the win to go 2-2 at home, 2-2 on the road. What we want is Coors Field, Pitbull Stadium. Portland State at Boise State. There's the whooping cough thing from Portland State canceling their game against South Dakota. We get emails
your vaccines, kids.
We get emails from Boise State updates on like everything. I don't know how we signed up for this, but it's great. Shout out to Patrick, whatever, who sends all these email updates. You have an Ashton Genty update. I'm sorry. Is it Ashton Genty or whatever?
Somebody corrected our pronunciation.
Yeah.
I think it is Genty.
Genty. Okay. So here's my question. This week, so Boise State had a bye last week, so they've only played 2 games, which means that Genty, he's still on only having scored 9 touchdowns. There are 3 power conference teams that have played 3 games, so they have an extra game on him. Yet they have scored fewer points. Can you name those 3 power conference teams?
Temple.
Not
a power conference team. Shit.
Kentucky.
That's one.
Florida.
No, they ran up the score on Samford.
Florida
Oh.
State.
Florida State is one.
Okay. So we got Kentucky, Florida State. I feel like there's a Big Ten team hanging out
It's
there.
not a Big Ten team.
Oh,
It's
it's
not a
not.
Big Ten
Okay.
team.
I'll tell you,
12?
it's a Big 12 team,
Ooh.
but it's a new Big 12 team.
Colorado?
Houston.
It is Houston. Those are the three teams: Houston, Kentucky, and Florida State that have scored fewer points despite one
Playing
more
one.
game played than Ashton Genty.
Wow. Amazing. We have a Hawaii test this week. It is Northern Iowa at Hawaii. Northern Iowa is a good FCS team. This could possibly be a really good game. That is the Hawaii test this week. It is on the Team One Sports app. Central Connecticut State. Shout out to Aiden Clark with an 84-yard punt last week at UMass. A longest punt of the week for Central Connecticut State and the Devils there. Houston Christian is at UTSA. Youngstown State at Pitt. Eastern Washington at Nevada. Villanova at Maryland. That is your FCS versus FBS games. The Ivy League is back, baby. They are coming into the season. They finally start playing games. It is great. It's going to be amazing. I want to highlight some FCS games here real quick, and then we'll do the picker wheel for the FCS preview. We have Northern Colorado at Stephen F. Austin. This is my favorite time of non-conference. It is Southland Conference versus Big Sky showdowns because we normally get some bangers, which we had Weber State at Lamar last week, which was incredible with the drives that they went everywhere, but they just didn't score. It was back-to-back drives. Northern Colorado at Stephen F. Austin. Northern Colorado winless last year. Stephen F. Austin blew the crap out of North America University previously, but they lost last week. Northern Arizona 2-1 goes to at Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word has dropped some 2 tough games, still ranked though. They dropped 2 tough games against South Dakota State, and they went to Southern Illinois, the Salukis last week. That should be fun. Also, our Western Illinois Leatherneck Lookout. Western Illinois is on a 27-28 game losing streak. I can't remember exactly what it is. They play D2 McKendree this week. They could break their 28 game losing streak or 27 game losing streak this weekend, which is the longest remaining streak in college football since Fort Lewis broke their 40 game losing streak last week. And then we have the spin for the FCS versus FCS preview. If you want me to spin it, I don't know. I'll just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I tried to open it and it wouldn't load, so please.
Right, let's spin. Let's see what we got here. It's making the noise. I don't know if you can hear it. Maine at Merrimack.
Ooh. We're monitoring the situation.
We're monitoring the situation, Black Bears. So Maine goes to Merrimack. Merrimack, which is now independent or in the Yankee Conference whatsoever. Maine put up some good fights. Merrimack has got killed by UConn, and they've lost a few games. This should be a really good FCS game. It'd be sneaky FCS game. I think this one is possibly on Flow Sports because all Maine games typically are. All CAA games too. So this should be an interesting game to watch. And let's go Black Bears. Shout out to Orono, Maine. And Merrimack, we're definitely monitoring that situation.
Oh, I
Any
think
other
that's it for the
thoughts?
show. Yeah, anybody have anything else before we head out, kids?
Any other things anybody wants to mention?
I got a Pitt volleyball game to get to, so I'm good to just
All
end
right.
this right here.
What is Pitt ranked in volleyball?
Number
Number
one,
one.
baby.
Oh, hail to Pitt volleyball.
Yeah.
It's such Sickos bump.
Yep, totally.
They were number 1 before that, but still.
We're going to count it.
Count it.